For the past few years, actor Jeff Bridges has been battling a type of cancer known as lymphoma. While his fight against the cancer has been largely successful, a recent 5-week battle with COVID made the Crazy Heart and Tron actor question whether or not it was his time to go. Join Facts First as Jeff Bridges gives fans a huge cancer update. Recently, Jeff Bridges announced that his cancer had gone into remission, but this announcement also came with the devastating news that the actor had been diagnosed with COVID. According to him, this battle proved even tougher than his battle against the cancer, though he's now made it past his 5-week stay in the hospital. Jeff said when he was in the hospital with COVID, he felt as if the battle was going to end up being his last. Jeff had first announced he'd been diagnosed with lymphoma around a year ago. At that point, he said his tumor was nearly a foot wide. Now the 71-year-old actor has shared that the tumor in question has shrunken down to just the size of a marble. While fans were ecstatic to hear his lymphoma treatment was largely successful, they were shocked to learn he had been diagnosed with COVID. Although Jeff's lymphoma treatment is arguably responsible for saving his life in another way, it was ironically the means by which he contracted COVID. Apparently, he learned about the fact that he might have contracted COVID upon receiving a letter from the facility where he's been receiving his lymphoma treatment. The letter expressed there was a chance Jeff may have been exposed to the illness. So Jeff and his wife were taken by ambulance to the hospital and tested. As it turns out, both of them had contracted COVID. Although Jeff went on to share his battle with COVID was more intense overall than his battle with cancer has been, he survived it. Jeff's chemotherapy treatment has allowed him to fight his lymphoma, despite the fact that it caused him to catch COVID. All things considered, the actor is arguably coming out on top due to the fact that he's still alive. Once Jeff and his wife were diagnosed with COVID, they both realized they had lengthy hospital stays ahead of them. But Jeff's turned out to be a great deal longer than his wife's. Jeff's wife is Susan Geston, and she had to spend 5 days in the hospital with COVID. Meanwhile, her husband had to spend 5 weeks in the hospital. This increased time was due to a variety of factors, including Jeff's otherwise poor health and old age. During those 5 weeks, things seemed dark for Jeff, but the actor pulled through. According to Jeff, the main reason his stay in the hospital after being diagnosed was so much longer than his wife's was the fact that the chemotherapy he'd been receiving had severely weakened his immune system. This is not uncommon for those who are going through chemotherapy, and chemotherapy is the most common form of treatment for lymphoma. Despite the fact Jeff contracted COVID during his chemotherapy, the treatment is arguably responsible for having shrunken Jeff's massive tumor to the size of a marble. Jeff said his battle with COVID was much more intense and painful than his battle with lymphoma, and it made his fight with cancer seem like a piece of cake. According to Jeff, he had to scream through some of the most intense moments, with the pain sometimes being so extreme he felt like he may be about to enter into the afterlife. Jeff says he saw the lights but eventually managed to crawl his way back to his hospital bed. Although Jeff's numerous health battles over the past few years have been incredibly intense for the elderly actor, he claims the brushes with mortality have only made him that much more grateful for the time he has left. According to Jeff, he enjoys life much more now than he would likely enjoy it if he'd never had to overcome both cancer and COVID. Jeff has been recovered from COVID for a while and is currently working with a therapist to get off the oxygen assistance he currently needs to breathe. Jeff has required the oxygen assistance since COVID due to the effect the illness took on his lungs. But he's made great strides in rehabilitating his lungs to the point where he will no longer have to walk around with his oxygen tank sometime fairly soon. Recently, he was able to walk one of his 3 daughters down the aisle without his tank, a small but commendable victory. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Jeff Bridges first revealed to his many fans that he'd been diagnosed with lymphoma in October 2020. The announcement came on Twitter and featured a reference to one of his most memorable performances. That was Jeff's turn as the dude in The Big Lebowski. While Jeff has had a long and storied career across both film and TV, few roles have managed to stay in the public psyche like the role of the dude. For many, the dude has become a symbol for keeping cool in the face of adversity. Because of this, it's not surprising Jeff would pay homage to the character when coming to terms with the news that he'd been diagnosed with a form of cancer. The announcement also expressed Jeff was optimistic about his upcoming treatment schedule, as well as the team of doctors that was working with him. Although the lymphoma diagnosis was understandingly scary for Jeff, he was given good odds that he'd be able to pull through. And now Jeff is close to making a full recovery from his bout with cancer. Fairly soon, both COVID and the cancer will be a thing of the past for the 71-year-old actor. Once that occurs, he can finish filming the series he's been working on. Before these diagnoses, he had been hard at work on a drama series for FX. It's still currently filming, with the production staff doing their best to try to overcome the hurdles brought about by Jeff's newly limited schedule. It would have been done filming a while ago if it wasn't for all of these unfortunate events, but it now appears the show will be finished and ready to premiere in 2022. It's called The Old Man, and it's based upon the novel of the same name by author Thomas Perry. In addition to starring in the series, Jeff is also an executive producer. The series only has 3 episodes worth of scenes left to film with Jeff. However, since Jeff can't return to filming until he's made a full recovery, it will likely be at least a short time before this occurs. Still, Jeff and the crew remain optimistic about a probable 2022 release given the actor's current state. In addition to Bridges, The Old Man also features John Lithgow and actress Alia Shawkat. The series will mark Jeff's return to television after half a century in film. The show was supposedly close to finishing its production before the COVID pandemic began, at which point filming was put on hold. It had resumed for a short period before Jeff was diagnosed with lymphoma. His subsequent COVID diagnosis only made things worse. In the time since he entered into his health battles, the production team behind The Old Man has continued to film as many scenes as they can without the actor. According to the crew, this has allowed them to get nearly done with the series. However, there are still around 3 episodes Jeff needs to film his scenes for, which could require a significant amount of work for the aging actor. The rest of the production team has expressed they're in no hurry to get the rest of filming done, preferring for Jeff to take his time and overcome his battles at his own pace. The series follows a former CIA agent attempting to live off the grid. When a mysterious assassin makes an attempt on his life, the titular Old Man has to come to terms with his past government work. Jeff plays the Old Man, whose name is Dan Chase. Director John Watts, who has recently become better known as the director of the most recent Spider-Man films, helmed the pilot episode of the show. Some of the things helping Jeff fight his illnesses have been his positive outlook and his insistence on moving forward. Apparently, he got a dog soon after his diagnosis that provided him with plenty of comfort and love. The dog's name is Monty, and Jeff likes to share pictures of him with his fans on social media. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share what your favorite performance from Jeff Bridges is. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.